Last year, a middle-aged professional reached out to me, probably after watching my YouTube video, and he wanted to seek some career advice, some coaching from me with respect to his performance, with respect to moving up in the leadership role. He called me up and he requested some 10 minutes of mine, which I readily agreed. And when I listened to his voice, I simply asked him that what made him to reach me out and have a conversation. So he narrated something like this. He said that I'm a middle-aged professional. I am around 35 years of age and I'm working in the banking industry. And for the past 5 years, I'm in this organization and I have got 2 promotions in the last 3 years. But for the last 6 to 8 months, I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm finding that my progress in my career is stalled. I'm not moving ahead. I'm not getting the right moves that will help me to take to the next level. Well, that prompted me to ask him that what exactly is going on, what kind of symptoms or what kind of things that are happening around him due to which he is making this statement. So he gave me 2 examples. He said, number one, that when there are new people who are joining the department, he is not very comfortable with them. He is not able to gel well with them in spite of the fact that he is giving them a lot of advice, a lot of help in problem solving, but people are not very comfortable aligning with him, working along with him. Secondly, he said that also because of a lot of process and tech changes that are happening in the organization, he is not able to cope up with what is happening with the latest trend. And the third thing that he mentioned was a little more serious, and he highlighted that whenever he talks to his seniors or superiors, they do not bother to listen to his opinions. Or sometimes the seniors take the advantage of his attention and they don't allow him to speak up. And he said that when all these things undergoes around me, it just makes me broke. I'm not able to think about it, what I should do. This leaves me being frustrated, being agitated, and not able to focus his attention on work, due to which he was not finding it comfortable. Well, friends, I keep listening these kind of problems coming from different professionals, and they feel that they have to work on their leadership skills. And one of the leadership skills is very pertinent that one should be excelled at, and that is called communication skills. In this particular case, one thing that came out after a lot of discussion and common finding, which we both agreed together, was that there were interpersonal communication issues that this gentleman was undergoing. Yes, friends, my name is Arun Thukral. I'm a life and a leadership coach, and in this video today, I'm going to take you through 7 most common obstacles in making good communication. So watch this video till the end, because I'm going to tell you 7 most common obstacles that we face on day-to-day basis and we don't even realize them. We always feel that we are doing our best in reaching out to people, talking to them, helping them, but somewhere you are making a mistake. And this video will give you those areas that are coming in your success when you want to lead ahead, when you want to create relationship and trust with people. This skill, if you do not develop, if you do not master, it's not going to help. And also, I want you to like and subscribe this channel, share it with your friends, share it with other colleagues who might benefit from it, and don't go anywhere. The first communication obstacle that many professionals face in their career is called as being judgmental. So let's understand what is being judgmental means. Do you often tell people how they are, what they are, and what they should be? If this is one of your habit, this is one of the biggest obstacle in your communication skills with people. Because when you do this particular act, you are actually feeling that what you think is right and you have the right to be right. In simple words, when you impose your thoughts with your own filters, you are judging people's behavior every time. And once this becomes a very routine habit in your day-to-day practice, you set you set the observations of certain people, which means that if you have found that a particular person is good in a particular task, even if that person is doing wrong things or saying wrong things, because you have a judgmental view, you would always see things from the right perspective. You will see that how this person is right, or you will even help him to become right as per his perspective. While on the other side, if you have judgment about somebody that he or she is not good, even if that person is making a point which is right and relevant, you would not be accepting it. Such a behavior of being right always is wrong and unfair to a lot of people who are approaching you or who are working around you. And that's where a lot of people would not love to come near to you, because they know that you are judgmental. So when you see people, when you talk to them, you should be open, fair, and unbiased when you are listening to them. This habit is very prominent in people as they grow, because they start becoming judgmental. Even during interviews, they become judgmental. So the more you are unbiased, the more you are open to listen to those people, the more you will be able to attract people towards you that they want to talk to you, and that will increase and improve your influence. The second biggest obstacle in good communication is feeling the need to complete sentences for others. I've seen a lot of people, they have a habit of interrupting others, and while interrupting, they want to complete the sentence for others on their behalf. Now, what happens when you do something like this? Or what happens when somebody does this with you? You are not comfortable. You feel really irritated and frustrated. And that is one of the reasons a lot of time the opposite person, if he is interrupted just because you have tried to complete the sentence, they feel offended and they do not want to complete their sentence and have a continuous conversation with you. And if this happens repeatedly, they even break off with you. They just come, they don't want to talk to you. They just want to avoid you. And this is where a lot of people fail, and they feel that they were doing the right thing in helping the person to complete the conversation. So this is the second biggest obstacle, that when you try to complete the sentence for others, it really irritates. So at this point of time, I'll give you an advice what you need to think about it. Think like a journalist. When they ask a question to the opposite side, they just remain quiet and silent, and they allow the person to complete it, finish it, and then only they will ask the second question or a follow-up question. Or maybe, when you listen people who are talking on a walkie-talkie, they don't just speak continuously or interrupt. They listen, and then the person says over, and then you start speaking. So just work on it, that you should not try to complete the sentences for others on their behalf. The third obstacle in good communication, I would call it as uncle's good advice. I'm sure each one of us have a tendency to help others as human beings. So a lot of people, when they observe others and they see that they are facing some challenges and problems, as a human being, they have a tendency to go and help others. But many a times people just forget the line between helping others, providing advice, versus providing unwarranted or unwanted advice. And over a period of time, this habit goes on and on and on, and they start behaving like an uncle who always have some advice to give to someone at every time. Now imagine if suppose somebody is coming to you for an advice every time. It's like somebody is breathing on your neck and watching you closely from a distance. This irritates a lot of people. They don't want people to come and tell them that how they should be doing the work. At the same time, what is important is that if you are a subject matter expert, if you know certain things very good, definitely from that standpoint, people will come and ask you and take your advice. Or at some point that you know the subject matter very well, you can help people who have just joined recently that how they can do the things better. And after that, you just need to observe them, guide them, and so that they can do better and further in their career. But if you continuously give them unwanted or unsolicited advice, it will just backfire you. If you are a senior person in the organization, people may not say anything to you, but they will just walk out. They don't want to be in your company. But if you are a junior person or somebody that peer level, they will immediately tell you on your face that they are not very happy in conversing with you, or they will have very limited conversations with you and they don't enjoy this company. Think about your current work situation and find out certain people in your system, or maybe you yourself, if by mistake or by chance you are doing something similar. Think about it. The fourth obstacle in good communication is called as the moralizer. Moralizer is the extended form of uncle's good advice. And in fact, this is one of the most pointless way of communicating. Now, I want you to listen to some of the conversation that I'm going to share and find out, do you have some similar kind of style in the way you converse with people on day-to-day basis? For example, how can you behave like this in a meeting? Why do you want to listen a typical kind of music? Why do you wear such kind of clothes when you come to office? Why are you reading newspaper when you are sitting in the conference room? Or if I were you, or if I were at your age, I would never have done something like this. Now, do you have these kind of conversation style in your day-to-day practice? If the answer is yes, then let me tell you, this is one of the most ineffective way to communicate with people. So as I said in the uncle's good advice, imagine if suppose somebody is coming and telling you very frequently these kind of moralizing statements, what will it lead to? It will just lead to frustration, because you don't want to have such people around you. Or until unless you want to become a very old age uncle in the office place or in your workplace, that people only look up to you when they need some advice or good moral values, then probably that is only the reason. But as we know that we have millennials in the office who do not want to get caught with such kind of people, and that is where they want to avoid you. So think about it and start working to change this moralizer behavior, because it is neither helping you nor to the people who are around you. Now we come to the fifth obstacle in good communication. The fifth obstacle is being a talker. I'm sure you would have seen a lot of people who have an urgency of frequent utterances, which means that they want to speak. Come what may, they want to speak. They cannot just keep quiet. And this feature in a lot of people is also because they want to showcase how knowledgeable they are, how intelligent they are, and how open they are. However, excessive talkers are also creating a lot of problem to a lot of people, because people who are listening them, they get overwhelmed with their speeches, their talks, and their ideas. And that is where it just puts off people to come near to them. However, this skill is important, particularly when you are talking to somebody for the first time, or somebody who is shy and who is not opening up, probably a good idea. But when you talk this kind of thing or this kind of style every time being a talker, it really doesn't help. Number one, it doesn't give you any information, any input to know from others. Two, you will also not be able to understand that what exactly the viewpoint of the other person. So this is one of the biggest problem for excessive talkers. So the best way is you need to become curious. You need to ask questions, because when you have the ability of becoming curious, you just want to know what the other person has information with them. So if you are an excessive talker, you really need to think about it. In fact, I also come from the same category and I'm working on it to improve my skills. Now we come to the sixth obstacle in good communication. The sixth obstacle is people who do not allow you to speak. Let me ask you a question. Do you have the tendency to be a submissive in maintaining your relationship with certain people? If the answer is yes, then definitely you do not want to have confrontation in the conversations that you are having with people, so you avoid talking or even discussing your points or your problems. Which means there are people who have the tendency to speak up and they don't allow you to speak out when it is necessary. This also means that they are either not interested in your opinions, or at the same time they do not give value to your attention. Now let me put it like this. If you come across people like this, you would definitely be in a kind of a trouble, because either you are feeling too low about yourself that you allow the other person to speak whatever, whenever, and wherever he or she is making a comment on you. So you do not have the courage to stop him or tell him something in revert. Or secondly, it could also be a possibility that you are talking to a person who is coming with very high dominance, and you know that if you interfere in that conversation, it will lead to a lot of confusion, it will lead to a lot of confrontation. So in order to avoid that, you don't speak. But these are not some of the good habits of being a good communicator. If you are at a receiving end and you have people who do not allow you to speak, it's high time that you should first allow them to speak whatever they want, then take a deep breath, and then you talk to them very assertively what exactly are your thought process or the points that you have thought about it related to that conversation. If you do not make your point, it will definitely impact very negatively, because that means you are allowing that person to dominate you anytime and every time they want. And that is one of the reasons a lot of people in the jobs, they just succumb to their boss wishes and they don't come back to him because they fear confrontation or they fear loss of job, and that's a very poor sign of a good communicator. Now we come to the last and the seventh obstacle in good communication, and that is losing focus. So let me ask you, do you find yourself distracted when listening to others? Or do you find difficult to focus in listening for a long period of time when somebody is talking? A lot of time this happens to people, and it is shown non-verbally in your body language that you are either uncomfortable, you are impatient, and that clearly shows to the person that you are losing focus in what they are saying. If that is the case with you, then this is high time that you should practice on focusing on what the other person is saying. Because if you lose focus, one, you will miss out on the important point what the other person is making, and number two, you would not be able to gain the value that the person is keen to give in the conversation. Now whenever you face a challenge of losing focus, one of the best practices that you need to meditate, you need to concentrate on the person's face, this particular area, and the more you concentrate on this particular area, you would be focusing on the key words what the person is saying. This definitely is a skill and it comes with practice. But losing focus will make you distracted, you will wonder about your problems, and you will not even understand. A lot of time when people are asked that, what did you gain when you were listening to that person? So generally the people make a comment, only I could understand what he said in the beginning and what he said in the end, which means that during the entire conversation in the middle, you were completely lost. And if you have some features like this, which clearly shows that you are losing focus. Now, what is the advantage when you put focus on conversation and you are able to retain the information, understand the value the other person is giving you? Number one, it brings liking of you by the other person because he understands that you are listening to him with a lot of attention. Number two, it builds trust. And number three, it helps in building good relationship with people. Like I gave you the example in the beginning of that middle-aged professional who came to me with the problem that his seniors are not respecting his views, his juniors are finding that he is giving too much of advice, and he is completely lost in terms of understanding the processes and people around him. If you now look at these 7 obstacles, he was actually undergoing all these obstacles unknowingly, because from his side he was doing the right things over the years, which has helped him to succeed twice in the same organization. But now he is facing that challenge. So there's a very famous saying, what got you here won't take you there, which clearly means that whatever you have done in the past and has made you reach at a particular point may not help you to go to the next point if you do not work on shaping up your skills. And that's how, let me give you a answer of the last year coaching with this gentleman. He is in still touch with me. He is doing well in his current role, and he is able to arrest a lot of problems that he was facing, and he is happily doing his current job. Well, I hope this session that we had related to good communication skills and what are the 7 obstacles, and these 7 obstacles are the most frequent obstacles that I have shared. So I want you to sit back now think about at least one or two obstacles that you feel are very prominent in your day-to-day work and start working on it. And I can promise you, you will see a lot of change happening in your work area with your professionals, with your seniors, with your juniors. And once you experience this, don't forget to share your feedback below in the comment section and let me know how it helped you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching me and stay connected.